Well, I've got some breaking news for you. So why don't you take a gander? But I'll be right back afterwards with a very special message for VIPOS. In case you don't know what that means a very important piece of shit. Take a gander.
Trey?
Yeah, we have some really unfortunate news to report from Ukraine, just outside the city in a town called Irpin, where there are refugees trying to get out of harm's way. And 2 Americans were shot today and 1 killed, both journalists. That's as far as we know in terms of the information that we have right now and can confirm. But to give you a sense of this area, there have been many journalists, including our own crews there over the past week, documenting what's happening as Ukrainian forces try to hold a front line from the Russian advance. And this information that we're learning right now, indicating from someone on the ground who was at the scene, that these 2 journalists got into a car to go closer to where the front line was at, and ultimately they were shot. We don't know who shot them, but this is an active war zone. And again, we can confirm at this hour that 1 American civilian journalist was killed just outside the capital of Kyiv.
Trey, we're all measured in moments like this to make sure to not get ahead of information. First reports can often be wrong, but and you've been measured in this as well. But we're now getting confirmation on our end from the New York Times that it was a New York Times reporter who was killed on the ground, and they put out a statement just moments ago on behalf of him. The New York Times saying, "We are deeply saddened to hear of Brent Renaud's death. Brent was a talented filmmaker who had contributed to the New York Times over the years. Though he had contributed to the Times in the past, most recently in 2015, he was not on assignment for any desk at the Times in Ukraine. Early reports that he worked for the Times circulated because he was wearing a Times press badge that had been issued for an assignment many years ago." So Trey, the New York Times confirming the name of the journalist who had at times worked with the New York Times, but appears to have been working in some other independent form there.
I can also independently confirm the name. Obviously, we always want to be careful before we name these journalists or anyone killed in conflict so their family can be notified. But now that a public statement is issued, I can independently confirm that is the journalist. He is a filmmaker, a very decorated filmmaker, and according to a source that we have on the ground in Irpin, he was taken out by Ukrainian forces after this happened. Again, we don't know exactly where within Irpin.
He was evacuated by Ukrainian forces, you're saying?
Correct. He was taken out, evacuated, yes. Taken out of the area by Ukrainian forces, evacuated by those soldiers who were able to get him and his colleague out of this area.
And so, VIPOS, very important piece of shit, Joe Biden, in case you didn't know who I was talking about. I hope you see this, JoJo, because America and the whole world would love to know what you're going to do about this. See, when an American gets killed in a war, then America has to get involved in that war. Those are the rules. Those are the rules with any country. What are you going to say? You going to do anything about it? Huh? Can you go to war with Russia? Do you have the guts? Or do you know that you can't go to war with Russia? Because, in fact, those Russian troops aren't Russian at all? Is that the case? Is that why you want to attack Russian troops? Because they're not Russian troops? What is it? Won't you let us know? Get on television and say that magical thing that you're going to say. Wrong place, wrong time. Please say that. You know the best thing for you to do, Joe Biden? The rest of you, and I'm talking about everyone up there in Washington. The best thing for all of you to do is to get the fuck out of Dodge. We don't want you anymore. I'll take over from here. Your fearless leader and king, King X, and I bid you your due. Your due.